DBS News. Fresh in the morning, eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
Good morning and welcome to the DBS Major Morning News. In the headlines, a new initiative set to be rolled out by the Ministry of Health. A Dominican Republic man on the U.S. top 10 most wanted list has been captured and at least 3 killed in the biggest Russian drone strike on Ukraine's second city. The details of these and other stories coming up.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
Welcome back. I am your presenter this morning. My name is Joseph Fadul. First up this morning, the Ministry of Health is set to launch a number of new initiatives. That announcement has come from Minister responsible for Health, Kasani Laville.
For our ministry, there are many initiatives that you will hear about soon in this same spirit of promoting participation. We have a red hat green check initiative that will soon be launched where we are encouraging better food choices. So what you will really see is that if there's a green check, for example, near an item, a food item or menu item at a restaurant or so on, then that would suggest that it would have met certain standards. If there's a red hat next to one of the items, it also carries a different connotation. I won't go into details right now. I'll save it for the launch. We also have a Dominica Moves initiative, which promotes physical activities, which will be launched soon, and that is very important to us. And we also have coming up a Saving This Generation initiative, where we're targeting young students, young children. Very soon we'll be launching our health management and information system, which is quite important. And this ties in nicely, for example, with the Saving This Generation initiative, because this will give us an opportunity to have the baseline data, the vitals of the children, so we could track their development and so on throughout their life. So there's a lot to come. There are a lot of exciting initiatives by the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, but we cannot be successful in isolation.
Minister of Health, Kasani Laville. National Coordinator for Non-Communicable Diseases, Dr. Lenora Fevrier-Drago, says the financial resources used in the fight against chronic non-communicable diseases or CNCDs are a cause for concern. Dr. Drago is encouraging wellness activities as the way forward.
As you know, non-communicable diseases play a very big role in the economics of most countries, and Dominica, being a small island developing state, is not exempt to that. We spend too much money on medication, and I think not enough thrust is being placed on the wellness aspect of what it is we do. Your health is your current state, so at any given point that can change. However, your wellness is your journey. So our aim here is to encourage persons to join us on the wellness journey and not just going to the doctor when you need tablets or when you're ill. Ministers and parliamentary representatives, look out for me. I will be coming to you because you need to get on board this train to health and wellness.
National Coordinator for Non-Communicable Diseases, Dr. Lenora Fevrier-Drago. Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Duncan Stowe, has called on the public to embrace the efforts being made for electoral reform in Dominica. His call came as the Electoral Commission and Simlex, a company of Belgium, signed a $3.4 million agreement for the provision of a voter identification system and software to facilitate the confirmation process, which begins in September and runs until August 2026.
A major aspect of the system being provided by Semlex is the provision of mobile kits, which will be used to reach the vulnerable persons in communities. In addition to negotiating and concluding this agreement with Semlex, the Electoral Commission and the Electoral Office have been or will be involved in a number of activities to facilitate the start of confirmation. These includes recruitment of staff, including communication specialists and enrollment staff, setting up of confirmation offices in every constituency, equipping the offices, training of staff in the new legislation, training of registering officers and assistant registering officers, and of course, we have a lot of public relations to conduct. So this is not merely a technical upgrade, it is a bold step forward in our democratic journey. It sends a clear message that we are committed to continuous improvement, to good governance, to protecting the rights of every citizen to participate in free and fair elections. Let us recognize this moment for what it is, a milestone that brings us closer to the ideals of a modern, just, and democratic society. Together, let us move forward with a shared commitment to building a stronger and more transparent democracy for the people of Dominica.
Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Duncan Stowe. Minister for the Environment, Cozier Frederick, has endorsed the Dominica Hospitals Authority adopt a planter initiative at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. Minister Frederick believes the initiative should be considered a landmark project and should be extended throughout Dominica.
I want to say to the hospital authority and the members of staff here, this is such a wonderful gesture because it appears to me that sometimes we take nature around us for granted. We compartmentalize our development and we speak about issues that affect our country as it relates to particular ministries, particular departments. But I realize that we have to have a collaboration moving across our wonderful white Kubulian space. But I also say to the listening public that you have your part to play. I find when I drive around this wonderful country, there are some people who are taking this nature and this one space for granted. And I suspect history will not be good to us if we do not play our part. And to say that, especially the fact that coming from the deep burdens and harshness of a colonization and exploitation of our space, we have a commitment. We just have to do it for ourselves. And so, even if we're doing this in a small space like the hospital, we have to magnify this across the region, across our white Golian space, in every school, in every community, at every village council, within every settlement across our country. We need to do those important initiatives. I think it's good leadership at the hospital to have this done.
Minister for the Environment, Cozier Frederick. Meantime, Director of Engineering Services at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, Nicole Laville, encourages local businesses, NGOs, and individuals to adopt a planter at the hospital.
Spearheaded by the Hospitals and Ancillary Services Department, this initiative invites you, all of us, the public, to help bring nature into the hospital, one planter at a time. So what is the program all about? The program is open to everyone, individuals, schools, community groups, businesses, families, government departments, and there are two options for participation. So two options for participation. Option one, self-administered care, where you take responsibility for maintaining your planter, following the guidelines from the hospital's beautification committee. And option two, hospital administered care, where for a modest contribution, the hospital provides the maintenance on your behalf. Each adopter will receive guidance and support, and all the planting plans must be approved by the committee to ensure safety, cohesion, and sustainability.
Director of Engineering Services at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, Nicole Laville. Head of the University of the West Indies, UWI Global Campus Dominica, Dr. Kimon Joseph, says the world needs true leaders to emerge and take their places. Her comments came at the induction ceremony of the UE Global Guild of Students and UE Alumni Association Dominica chapters. Dr. Joseph says there is an abundance of managers, but the world is suffering from the dearth of leaders, particularly servant leaders.
One of the reasons for this deficiency, I believe, is a deep fear of those who have the potential to lead. And what are they afraid of? Well, for one thing, some people with leadership potential fear failure. Others fear ridicule and backlash, that they may be ostracized by others and have to stand alone. Ask any leader inside of this room or those listening to me via the live stream, and if they are honest, they will tell you it can be very lonely at the top. If you are looking for quote-unquote friends, then leadership may not be quite the thing for you. Leadership is oftentimes very lonely. What this fear of leading has done to our society is that it has created a situation where people who have genuine potential and can be coached with some additional training have taken a back seat and have allowed people who clearly do not have vision, who have more talk than action, and who, let's be frank about it, are people in some cases who are downright buffoons, to take up leadership positions that they lack the aptitude and even common sense to handle. What the world needs now more than ever is for true leaders to rise up and take their places. We need ethical people who, although they have fear, will willingly say, yes, send me, and step forward from a place of solid morals and a good blend of education, street smarts, and emotional intelligence.
Head of the UE Global Campus Dominica, Dr. Kimon Joseph. Meantime, the UE Global Campus has presented Dr. Hazel Shillingford Ricketts the award for dedicated leadership for individuals.
This award is for those who served as chair of the Alumni Association and the Guild of Students, and have now moved forward into other things. We have 3 students who will be graduating this year who have served as chair of the Guild of Students, and each of them served for 2 years as chair. And as well, we have our immediate past chair of the Alumni Association. So the first student to be honored this evening for dedicated leadership with the Dr. Hazel Shillingford Ricketts Award is Miss Tiffany Johnson. Tiffany was our chair at a very particularly difficult time, post-Hurricane Maria, and worked for 2 years as our chair and did an awesome job. We also would like to honor Miss Ronna Riley. Ronna served for 2 years. Ronna was also part of the regional guild in her time. That was before Hurricane Maria, but she did an awesome job and carried her ship through. Thank you very much, Ronna. And our most recent or immediate past chair is Miss Annalyn Joseph. Annalyn served for 2 years and completed this year. Also receiving the award of Dr. Hazel Shillingford Ricketts for dedicated leadership is Miss Nadia Rivera. Nadia is not here, and so she has asked her friend, Mary Julian Winston, to accept on her behalf. And Nadia is our immediate past chair of the UWI Alumni Association. Nadia served for 8 years as chair. So thank you very much, Nadia, for your dedicated service.
Head of the UE Global Campus, Dr. Kimon Joseph. Let's move to news from the region, where a man from the Dominican Republic who was on the U.S. list of the top 10 most wanted fugitives has been captured in a joint operation by the Dominican Republic and U.S. authorities. Luis Francisco Soriano, better known as Jeffrey or Yeyo, was arrested on El Macao Road province following extensive joint intelligence and interdiction work by agents of the National Drug Control, coordinated by members of the Public Prosecutor's Office, supported by U.S. Marshals. The 32-year-old Dominican Republic citizen is charged with being involved in a quadruple homicide in 2024 in New York. Two of the victims were children aged 2 and 4 years old. Soriano faces multiple charges in New York State, including first and second degree murder, first degree burglary, first degree kidnapping, and premeditated first and second degree arson. Internationally, at least 3 people have been killed and another 21 injured, including a 1-month-old baby in the biggest Russian drone strike to hit Ukraine's second largest city. Multiple residential buildings have been hit after Russia launched nearly 50 drones towards the city overnight. This follows a round of intense strikes across Ukraine on Friday, when 6 people were killed and 80 injured. Russia says it was in response to a major Ukrainian drone attack on Sunday. We've come to the end of the morning news. We have the best in sports coming up next. Stay tuned.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Just Mobank me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank. NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time with Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank. The faster, easier way.
So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way. To pay your bills with Mobanking. The faster, easier way.
So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier Pay employees way. On Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank.
Plus, you can now top up your phone on Mobanking. No need for cash or card. Simply log into Mobanking to top up your phone. Visit nbdominica.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
The faster, easier way to bank. NBD. Your partner, your bank.
Let's begin with some under-14 netball news this morning. The Northeast Comprehensive School has won the 2025 Secondary Schools Under-14 netball title. The final round is the Sports Division's Secondary Schools Under-14 Netball Championships, and that was held at the forecourt of the Windsor Park Stadium. In third place match, Portsmouth Secondary School defeated the Northeast Comprehensive B 19-14. Shooting for Portsmouth Secondary School, Jecolia Benjamin with 18 of 28 attempts, and Sonina Morand contributed 1. Shooting for Northeast Comprehensive B, Renika Edwards 3 from 7, Denicia Dublin 6 from 6, and Shadizia Walsh 5 from 11. While in the grand finals, the Northeast Comprehensive A edged out the Castlebar Secondary School 11-10. Shooting for the Northeast Comprehensive A, Adari Samuel 8 from 20 attempts, and Catalina Bogono 3 from 7. Shooting for Castlebar Secondary School, Leanne Augustine 7 from 14, and Kiara Shillingford 3 from 6. England beat the West Indies easily by 21 runs in their first T20 yesterday. England, inspired by a bold 96 from Joss Butler, piled up 188 for 6 in 20 overs. Jamie Smith 38 and Jacob Bethel 23 not out were the chief contributors. For West Indies, Romario Shepherd took 2 for 33, while Azari Joseph, Ruston Chase and Russell took 1 wicket each. Set 189, West Indies were restricted to 167 for 9. Evan Lewis made 39, Johnson Charles 18, and Ruston Chase 24. Jason Holder was unbeaten on 16 and Shepard made 16. Liam Dawson took 4 for 20 to be named man of the match.
You're obviously really good, really pleasing to contribute to a really good win.
What did you have to do tonight, given the conditions, given the bias of the field that brought us success?
I think when you get 190 on the board, you can sort of go out there and simplify everything, bowl very defensively, and they've obviously got to come to you. So tried to keep it very simple, and thankfully tonight it worked.
We heard from Marcus Trescothick a little bit earlier in the pod, and he said that when he spoke to you earlier today, you felt like you were making your debut all over again.
Yeah, without doubt. I think it's been maybe 3.5 years now since I played. So yeah, I was a little bit nervous going into the game, but obviously very, very happy to contribute.
Against this West Indies lineup, finally, what are the keys?
Well, I think they've got extreme power, trying to hold your length as much as you can. But yeah, they're obviously very good players, and it's only one game. Hopefully, we can play well again on Sunday.
Man of the match, England bowler Liam Dawson. Well, here now is West Indies captain Shea Hope.
Just thought that both stages were very important for us. We didn't bowl as well as we wanted to in that first power play with the ball, but I definitely must commend the bowlers for that fight that they showed to pull them back in the back end there, give ourselves a good chance of chasing that 185, 190 score.
How specific is your planning given the dimensions of a ground like this with regards to your lines and length?
Yeah, that's one thing you have to do. Every single ground is different. You've got to adapt to each and every single conditions that you're playing. And that's certainly one of the talking points that we had in the meetings. We understood the dimensions. Also the slight wind factor as well. It kind of swirls sometimes here. But yeah, those are all part of the plans that we would have had. And I thought that the guys really executed well in the middle period. And then the back end, give ourselves a good chance of chasing that score.
Yeah, I heard you say after the ODIs that adapting, and through the ODIs as well, adapting quickly one of the keys with the volume of spin that came at you today on reflection.
Yeah, a lot of teams like to throw spin at the West Indies. It's just something that we're aware of. We just need to get better, just quite frank. As a batting unit, we've got so much depth in that batting unit. We're so powerful, so destructive. And it's just one day break. We've got to ensure that we pick ourselves up, put this one behind us. And we have 2 more games to win the series, so we've got to look forward.
West Indies captain Shea Hope. In other news in sports this morning, the review process is still underway towards drafting a modern national sports bill for Dominica. The review is being undertaken by the National Sports Council. Minister of State in the Ministry of Sport, Senator Oscar George, says the council is also mandated to formulate a comprehensive national sports policy.
The National Sports Council was instituted last year and primarily serves as a policy advisory body to government on all matters pertaining to sports development. The council has been mandated in its early stages to lead in the review of the existing sports laws and then to make recommendations for improvement to get it fit for purpose in this modern era. To move the process forward, we engaged a legal drafter in Mr. Anthony Laron to guide the process forward. And I was advised that the council has been meeting regularly and the review process is still ongoing as it relates to this National Sports Act or Sports Bill. Following from this, the council is expected to finalize a comprehensive national sports policy, which will dive into more detail on a number of key areas as it relates to sports participation and sports administration, as well as ensuring that our programs are aligned with regional and international best practices. So I wanted to clarify that because we have been getting feedback on this in terms of the real function of the Sports Council. The Sports Council is an advisory body with regards to policy matters of sports. And of course, we are confident that with the capacity of the membership of the Sports Council, we expect them to play a very central role in guiding Dominica's sporting revolution over the next decade or so.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Sports, Senator Oscar George. 21 players have been selected to participate in intra-squad matches in preparation for the Windward Islands Senior Tournament in July. only locally based players have been included in the training squad. The intra-squad matches are set to be played on the weekends of June 14th to 15th and 21 to 22.
The Dominica Cricket Association announces the following players have been selected to participate in intra-squad matches in preparation for the Windward Islands Senior Tournament in July. The players are Jelani Robinson, Gian Benjamin, Courtney Ansem, Jasion Alexander, Brian Joseph, Neo Davis, Kazimi Benjamin, Micah Joseph, Kyron Phillip, Tyrese LeBlanc, Malachi Xavier, Ethan Doctrove, Daniel Dupini, Akan Edwards, Jason Vidal, CJ Charles, Tyron Theophil, Vincent Lewis, Delani Alexander, Yawani Regis, Malinga Bruni. The training squad only includes players based locally. Players who are out of state and not on representative duty must communicate with the chairman of selectors regarding their personal intentions for the national team. The matches to be played on weekends of June 14th to 15th and the 21st to the 22nd.
That was the Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Cricket Association, Kimara Ito. Let's kick off to some football news right now. A number of matches are carded for this weekend in the Dominica Football Association First Division 1 League. On Saturday, that's today, Derby Boys will come up against Tarish United at the DFA Technical Center in Stock Farm from 4:30 p.m., while Mighty Avengers will take on Kensborough United from 7 p.m. also at Stock Farm at the DFA Technical Center. 4 matches will be played on Sunday. In La Plaine, RC Doctors will play Kalinago Warriors from 4 p.m., while at 6:30 p.m. it will be LA Stars versus Marigot United, while at the DFA Technical Center, Police FC will come up against Valley United at 4 p.m., and at 6:30 p.m. also at the DFA Technical Center, Center Ball Hawks will take on South City. Let's bowl back to some cricket. New India Test captain Shubman Gill says there is no particular style of captaincy that he wants to follow as he gets set to lead India in a 5-match Test series against England. Gill was announced as Rohit Sharma's successor less than 2 weeks ago. The 25-year-old Gill said he was quite overwhelmed when he learned about the selector's decision to make him captain, which would make him India's 5th youngest Test leader. Gill said he's looking forward to the great challenge of starting his captaincy journey with a big tour of England.
Firstly, when I came to know that opportunity has been presented to me to be able to captain the test team, very overwhelming, was quite overwhelmed with the whole experience. But having said that, I think it's a big responsibility and looking forward to this great challenge that I think that would be presented to us. We haven't really decided on we'll see, we still have some time, we'll be playing inter-squad match and I think we'll be having a 10-day camp in London, so we still have a little bit of time and I think we can decide on the batting order once we go there. So I think it's a very individual call. I think if someone is playing the IPL first, I think it's their responsibility to be able to be in the present and give their full commitment to the team that they're playing at. But I think it was a very individual call. If some players, they wanted to have a bit of the feel with the Duke's ball, keeping in mind there are a bit of time frame or rest days between matches, I think some players would have.
New India Test captain Shubman Gill. A complete upgrade of the Castlebrooks playing field will be implemented under the next cycle of the Basic Needs Trust Fund. Minister of State in the Ministry of Sport, Senator Oscar George, says this is aimed at getting Castlebrooks to a level of regional play-in. Senator George says the Trafalgar basketball court is also being upgraded under the Basic Needs Trust Fund.
The ministry is also advancing key sporting facilities implemented under the Basic Need Trust Fund Project Cycle 10. One such project is the complete upgrade of the Trafalgar basketball court, which is advancing very well as we speak. As we know, Trafalgar is known as one of the most prominent communities when it comes to basketball. And I believe that this upgrade will certainly create better opportunities for the youth in that area. This upgrade includes a media center, covered seating, washrooms, change rooms, new markings, uprights, and perimeter fencing. This project is to the tune of $920,000. Another popular venue is the Castlebrooks playing field. The thinking of the ministry is to implement a project for the total upgrade of the Castlebrooks playing field under the next cycle of BNTF, that's BNTF 11. A matter of fact, the officials from CDB were in Dominica last month and visited the playing field along with the Member of Parliament, Village Council, and some residents to get a better understanding and appreciation of the scopes of works needed. The intention under this project is to get Castlebrooks to a level of a regional playing field, to include leveling, retaining structures, drainage, construction of a proper pavilion, and washroom facilities. Once finalized, this will be a great addition to the Southeast because, as we all know, the Southeast has been producing excellent athletes and sporting teams over the years. So the ministry through the BNTF office will continue the engagement with the CDB on this, and I want to just commend the manager and staff of the BNTF for the diligence so far in this process.
Meantime, Senator George says sporting facilities in Laplaine and Penville are also being developed.
As I'm on the Southeast, the ministry recently commissioned the state-of-the-art hard court in Laplaine. Again, this is part of our government's effort to strengthen grassroots sports by creating an avenue to facilitate local sports participation by our young people. This court includes top-quality lighting, and our hope is that the people of Laplaine make the best use of this facility to develop and nurture the next generation of our athletes. A multi-purpose hard court was also recently developed at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth. The outstanding actions are the installation of the bleachers and installation of the lighting fixtures, and the procurement process for these items have begun. In the meantime, we have allowed use of that facility as we wait on the arrival of these items. A similar facility has been built in the community of Penville, creating an additional avenue for young men and primary school students to play. And if you know Penville, you know Penville is no means flat. So it took a great effort by the PAREP and the villagers to identify a location suitable for such a facility. And I think we have identified best facility in the village for this facility. And so far, everyone in this village is very happy for this facility. It's a great addition to our sports and youth in the community of Penville.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Sports, Senator Oscar George, taking us to the end of this morning's edition of the DBS Major Morning News and Sports. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, coming up next on your nation station, DBS Radio, is the insert of the package that's going to be brought to you, compliments of the wonderful folks at A&A Low Price Center. So stay tuned for that. Of course, a few programming items to look out for. Connecting the Dots comes through at 9. This morning's guests on Connecting the Dots, it's a two-part guest experience. The Tina Alexander reaching out to hurting people is going to be on this morning. And then a taste of the Dominican Diaspora's Arts and Craft Expo. That's going to be explored between 9 and 11. Brought to you compliments of the wonderful folks at Bullseye Pharmacy. Ivona Jean-Baptiste Luge and Nigel Francis comes through with that. It's going to be streamed live on the DBS Radio YouTube channel. So, of course, DBS Radio has its own almost like television channel. It's available to you on YouTube. So, subscribe to the channel. There's absolutely no cost to subscribe to it. So, make sure that you check it out. Go to YouTube, look for DBS Radio. It's a long weekend as well. So, please make sure that you stay safe on behalf of the entire news and sports department. I was your presenter this morning, Joseph Fadul.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Just Mobank me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank. NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time. With Mobanking, the faster, easier way to bank.
The faster, easier way.
So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
To pay your bills with Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier
Pay employees
way.
on Mobanking.